All right then. Okay, so good evening. Thanks to all of you for coming. I understand you just spoke with some of our alumni, so I hope they shared some uh, insights about the recent program. To introduce myself, I'm Catherine Boschkoff. I'm your Global VP for Career Advancement and Alumni. So as context, my global team works with our students to support them to get great jobs. We have teams, as you may know, on all of the campuses, and they're available to you throughout the year for support. And we also look after you when you graduate as an alum and put together a great set of programs for lifelong learning. One of my themes today will be talking about skills and how important it is to get the right skills when you're in school and to keep on building those skills. So we have a really nice program for you even after you graduate. Today, I'm going to make a few remarks about job opportunities in the Gulf as well as the US, and then I'm going to talk about what our alums have done in those regions. I'm also going to make some comments on what job seekers did to achieve those jobs. And to the greatest extent possible, I'm going to pass on lessons learned. I don't get very much time with you guys, so I'm going to try and give you as many tips as possible. I'm now in my 8th year at Holt, and I'm super proud of how well our alums are doing in finding success. I think there's a real discipline and process to securing international work, and I'm really proud of where we've come as a school and how well we support our students in finding that work. So I'm going to share all the insights that I can today, and hopefully that gets you off to a really fast start. So, good news. Here's the headline. Employers really need day one ready skills. The markets are strong globally. Most markets are very strong, and Holt grads are finding success in the markets. So that's the top line. You guys are living in a great time. We're on a 10-year boom in the West in terms of employment growth and market growth. So it's a really fun time to be building a career because growth markets lift all boats, so people can move up pretty quickly. So that's the top line. It's a good time. It's a good time to be looking for work. Here's a picture. I'm from the San Francisco Silicon Valley, so I know this market really well. This is a happiness chart up and to the right. As you guys know in strategy, you want your lines to go up and to the right. And so what this chart says is employment has continued to build and build and build over the last 10 years. The little red line on the bottom is the unemployment rate, remarkably low. As an ex-economist, I would expect inflation by now, but we haven't really seen it. So that's what we're watching out for. The markets are so hot that we're expecting inflation. We are seeing wage growth in all of our markets, which is good, but not a lot of inflation. Despite the fact that the Fed is making some changes in our monetary policy here. I won't comment on that, but I will say it's a really good market. Whether you look at the US or the UAE, what this chart says is super low unemployment rate. So again, the line is going the right way, down from the left, high unemployment, down to the right, low. So good news in both markets. Things are so strong that I'm going to start out and talk about a young student who's actually in your region. This is a student who will graduate next week from our campus in Dubai. She's from the region. She focused all of her education in Dubai. She's an MIB. And what I want to emphasize is she finishes and graduates in a week, and she has a job already. She came into this program knowing that analytic skills were important. Now, as you guys probably know, we are not offering the business analytics double degree in Dubai, yet she knew those skills were important, and she focused on building out her capabilities. So as you can see, she co-founded the Data Science Club over here. And with her colleagues, she built up a repertoire of things to help students get better analytic skills. So she had a real passion about that. As you can also see, she blogged, she got involved, and on the right, you can see she's fairly junior in her career. She doesn't have a lot of experience, but she focused on building out her resume and getting the right skills. So now today, up here, she's doing an internship in analytics for a regional energy and gas analytics firm. She was actually recruited into this internship, young as she is, by a third-party firm. That's a headhunter. So somebody saw her skills and said, I want this talent. And they went after her and they brought her into the internship. Her internship salary, just as an intern, is well above what she made before. And we all expect that she's going to convert this internship into a job. So that's an example of what a good market looks like. Young talent without tons of skills gets jobs early. And so I would point to her as an example of a recent success in your region. Here's another example. So Rashani is a much more senior student. As you can see, she's now talking about her cloud and data experience up there in the picture. She's an MBA. She's finishing in San Francisco, and she also graduates next week. She had the option to do the dual degree. So she's one of the students who made an early decision. Maybe I'll graduate and go get a job. Maybe I'll do the dual degree. However, in May, well before she graduates, she secured a job as a product manager, which was her target career at Connexio Consulting, which is a Turkish company. She has been able to start the job early. As you can see, May 2019, she is working before she graduates next week through our internship program, which allows you to get started in the market doing an internship well before you graduate. Also gives you or the student more time to build up your skills. One of the reasons I picked this student to talk about is I wanted to showcase her LinkedIn profile. As I mentioned, I'm going to try and give you lessons learned throughout this talk today. And if you look down here on the left, she's talking about her skills. So she's showcasing her skills up front and center so that you can see what her capabilities are. She got this job by applying for it, the internship, through LinkedIn. So it was posted on the LinkedIn job board. If you apply for a LinkedIn job, you should bet that somebody's going to look at your LinkedIn profile, which they did. And they were impressed, and she was hired. So lesson number one, make sure when you get to school, you spiff up your LinkedIn profile and you talk about those skills that you're going to bring to an employer. She's off to a great start. Many of our students are. Okay, this is the last case I'm going to talk about up front. A very, very junior student, as you can see over on the right, has not done a lot of work yet. He's also from India. He's in our San Francisco MIB program, also graduates next week. Very little experience. He did, however, start working with his career advisor last fall, and they made the choice that he was going to focus on HR roles. So he made up his mind in the fall what he wanted to do, and he started networking in the Bay Area, and he started doing his formal interviewing last February. So that's February 2019. In this here, you can see he did actually start working in May. He got that job in April. So he started the interviewing process at Chief People beginning of April, was selected by end of April, filled out his paperwork, started doing the internship in May. And so I emphasize this because he did a lot of things right. He started talking to his career advisor in the fall. He was networking. He interviewed in the spring. He's doing an internship. He will convert that to a job. This is what success looks like. And you don't have to have a big, long career behind you to find this success. He's, again, very early in his career. He has less than 2 years experience. He's doing the MIB, and he's doing really well. Okay, so top line, here are the tips. Skill up. So when you think about what you want to do after Holt, use your time well when you're in the program and get the skills that are relevant for the position you want. Employers hire talent because of your skills and capabilities. In general, Employers love Holt talent because you're smart, you learn fast, you're multilingual, you're multicultural, you're ambitious, and you have the right skills. So it's super important that you decide what skills you want and you invest in getting those skills while you're in the program. Secondly, get that experience. So I've talked a lot about interns. You can also lead a club, you can be a student ambassador. Anything that demonstrates skill and experience is good. So it's all great on your resume, but make sure you do something while you're here to advance your resume and your experience. And finally, as I've mentioned, start your search in October. So don't wait till the end, because if you start early, you're going to have a whole bunch more choice and power in the market. If you're not clear on what you want to do, check out the job sites. So these are great ways to figure out what skills are needed. The first three are really good sites for the Gulf region. So Olive is for graduate programs and internships actually in around Dubai. Bay is more of a regional job board, and Gulf Talent is even bigger. LinkedIn, Glassdoor, Indeed are all the dominant job boards in the US and now to a really greater extent in Europe. So there's no secret about where the jobs are. There's a lot of transparency in the market. So check these out, decide which jobs you want, take a hard look at what the skills are, and make sure you're focusing on some of those or all of them when you're in the program. Do an internship. So we had 800 students in internships this year. Internships are a big part of our go-to-market program for Holt Talent. You can do an internship in a lot of different places. Talk to your EA about your campus, your target campus, when you're going to be there, what the requirements are for you to do an internship, because there are some visa implications. But in general, internships are good, and they're converting at about 65% rate to jobs. So they do a lot of things for you. They build your confidence. They help you get better at selling yourself. You learn a ton about employment. You get skills on your resume. They're multifaceted in how powerful they can be for you. So when you're thinking about your plan at Holt, put that into the plan. You'll be really glad you did. I'm going to spend a little bit of time. I don't have tons of time today to talk about Dubai, but up front, I just wanted to talk about, give you the numbers and address the point that often comes up. Are there any jobs in Dubai? And should I go to Dubai? And what's really going on? So this is an eye chart. Economists like this, maybe not so great for people in a large classroom because there's a lot up here. This is what I want to talk about. So if you look down here, Dubai in 2018, this was not such a hot time to be looking for a job in the region. That is now close to 2 years behind us. This is the market that our students are competing in, and you can see that it's pretty close to the global average. This is what's happening. So this is where we were, this is where we are, this is what's coming. These are really high growth rates. So what that means is there's a lot of opportunity being created in the region right now. Why is that? You guys probably all know about Expo 2020, the way the government is investing a huge amount of money in developing the region as a logistics hub and also as a tourism hospitality place where they're actually creating a tremendous amount of capacity in hotels. So hospitality is booming, logistics is big. They're trying to do everything they can, frankly, to diversify the economy from oil. At the same time, if you read the headlines, the price of oil is also coming up right now. So that's helping the region develop a really healthy economy. So looking at this, it's a good market. Was it a good market in way back here? Not so much. But this is the world you guys live in. So this is behind you. This is in front of you. I would really encourage you to do your own research about where the opportunities are. But overall, it's a much improved, and it's a market that has a lot of opportunities for new talent. When I work with my students, I say, again, because I came from economics and data, if you want to find a job, look where most of the jobs are. And so this shows the big industries in the region. And as I mentioned before, if you pick a big industry or you pick a high growth rate, and preferably you do both, there are going to be a lot of jobs. So on the left, that's where historically the business has been. Look at those growth rates on the right. 8% growth, 7% growth, extraordinary. Most economies are happy for 2%. So these are segments where they will have to create jobs to support all of the capacity they're building. So everything on the right, high growth rates, basically this is all the diversification from oil, which the government has to do. So again, fairly healthy environment to be in. Now, when I work with coaching students, I say focus on growth, the bigger the better. So let's start with where things are really big. And the number one industry there on the left, huge. Is it growing? Well, a bit, 1%. However, it's so big, there are lots of opportunities. And as jobs turn over, there's stuff for our students to take advantage of. So let's talk about somebody who's in the market and what she's doing. This is Isha, and it is the practice of many of our Indian women to not reveal their last name on LinkedIn, and I think that's very appropriate for your region. So I can't share her last name with you. I do know what it is, but I will tell you her story. So if you look at Isha, she has a fabulous job now at Nestle, working in Dubai. She graduated from the program in 2018, and she's at this fabulous world-renowned consumer products company. Looking at her LinkedIn on the right, what do you see? You can see she built her experience while at Holt. So these 3 projects were all done on campus. She took the Nestle Challenge, she took it by storm. She was involved in the project when the employer was on campus. She met the employer, impressed her future employer with her skills. She also stretched and she took on this one. So this is another lesson. Think ahead. Think to where the industry is going. Make sure you get some of those technical skills. As you can see, she did AI, VR, blockchain, crypto. All of that used to be a Silicon Valley type of skill set. It's everywhere now. So you guys really need to look after your technical skills and make sure you're picking up some of the relevant skills. And she did a great job at that. Then she took on Ferraro, another school challenge, and she's showing all of these skills and experiences right here on her LinkedIn resume. You can do the same. So after the projects, as you can see, showcased her skills, she went back to Nestle and impressed them with her skills. They hired her as an intern, and she leveraged the contacts on that and then converted it to a business development job in the region. This is a great example of success. So that's one person in consumer products. I want to give you another example. An American, most Americans are not working in Dubai. So this is pretty interesting because Lindsay really wanted to build her career in Dubai. She did her degree there. She also graduates next week. She's got a position in retail beauty products. She started in June by her internship in Dubai. She's going to continue after graduation. Something to note, she also emphasizes her skills. Look in that about section. So she's talking about what kind of person she is. This is the type of stuff that attracts employers. She has a very creative background. So she's pivoting from this event management in education, University of Utah, pretty conservative part of the country. She's pivoting from this type of role to a beauty products management role. So in the vocabulary that we use at Holt, she made a triple jump. She changed her geography from the US to Dubai. She changed her role from events to management. She changed her industry from University of Utah education to beauty. So she did all 3, again, in a really good market in the Middle East. So another example of what it could be like for you. Another industry in the region, transport and storage, big and growing very, very nicely. A lot of this is to support the strategy of becoming a logistics hub. It's to support all of the material coming into the region to build out infrastructure, hotels, technology, all that kind of stuff. So big business. Another one of our grads, a bit more senior, but I emphasize this because she has a super interesting job. She's at Expo 2020. She is in logistics, as you can see. So she's taking advantage of two trends. Expo is building the economy, logistics is big. She's got a senior role. She progressed through this, building her career through a couple of steps down here, as you can see, and she's been highlighting her skills all along the way. So another example of an alum finding success in the region. And one more, I'm going to talk about this one. This is another commercial that I'd like to offer. Hospitality is a big business. It's going to be 11 billion by 2025, huge, and many opportunities for Holt students. When I bring hospitality up to my students, they turn their noses at it. Nobody wants to do it. It's perceived as people that work the front desk. There's actually so much more to it. And here you can see it's growing nicely. So our employers in hospitality often are not able to get you guys to accept the jobs that they offer to you. So this is a little bit of commercial for hospitality and to give it a good think, because there are some really good roles and you can build a career. And here's an example of one of our alums who's built a very nice career. So as you can see, Johan is now the GM for the Ritz in Dubai. Are you going to graduate from the program and be the GM at the Ritz? Well, probably not right away, but you can build up to that. And you can see over here that he built up to that career through a succession of roles over time. Also to note, he has great skills and he's not been shy about highlighting them on his LinkedIn. So he was very smart student. He achieved a lot of distinction. He was on the dean's list. He participated in challenges. He impressed employers. He had a high grade. And now he achieved that at the school. He's able to use that to get a better job. So I just offer that to you as both look at what some of our alums are doing, and also remember hospitality, and don't not pursue hospitality because of things that you may have experienced in the past. Just give it a fair look if it comes your way. Okay, so you're in a good market. The oil economy is improving. More importantly, the non-oil industries are getting a lot of funding from the government because the region knows it has to diversify. This is not just the UAE. This is all the oil countries are trying to figure this out. You have fabulous international exposure through Expo 2020 and the other trade and commerce in the region, tax-free wages, and as I mentioned, Expo 2020. So although Dubai had a bit of a bump like 2 years ago, it's really a different market now, and there's a lot of opportunity for people graduating from our program. I'm briefly going to touch on US and San Francisco. I'm a San Francisco lifer. I love this market. I love to talk about it. I'd love for you to come visit here or do your degree here. Certainly from a technology perspective, tons going on. But I did want to take up front the question that I get all the time from people. Is there any hiring going on for international talent? Have things changed? And so what I want to say to you is capital, so that is business, has an insatiable desire for talent. And in the United States, as well as Europe, we continue to hire international students. And you can see in both developed economies, it's around 50% of the companies plan to hire, willing to hire. There are the other half about are not planning to hire next year. Half the big companies are hiring. That's good news for you. So this is a GMAC study. You can pick it up off of their website, and they'll talk about more international trends. Often my candidates look at it, so I wanted to mention it to you and just make a couple points. The GMAC study talks to big companies. Many of our Holt students who are sponsored get jobs at small companies. And so this data massively understates the opportunity for you in the US. So half of the companies are hiring, but it's a lot better for you guys if you are open to this fast growing startups and the SMEs. Additionally, detail that's not immediately obvious. These companies say they are willing to hire, and these over here, not planning to hire, but what they are going to do is they are going to hire you on contract. So Google has 100,000 employees. Google has 110,000 contractors. Many of them are international students or graduates. So again, the data is good, but if you think about what really happens in the market, the opportunities for you are even better. So I want to emphasize this point because far away from the US, there are all these rumors about what's going on, but when you look at the data here, internationals are getting jobs. So that's like my take home for you. I'd love for you guys to come here and make a career in this market. If you're going to do that, where should you look for your work? So this data hasn't really changed a lot over the last 5 years. Consulting is a big industry for internationals, finance, accounting, healthcare, and tech. Those are the top 4. And that is where I would say a majority of our students end up doing work, whether they're doing consulting work or BD or operations work. These are all the big industries in the US, and you can, again, do your Google search and prove to yourself that these are very, very large industries. I wanted to talk about somebody who's working right now, and again, I have a little lesson on this. Shivani is working now. She was a 2018 graduate. I picked this case for 2 reasons. One is she's an expert in digital marketing, and she wasn't shy about showing that. So you can see right here, digital marketing, BD, what she has. Those are super important skills in growth economies because you need them to promote product. The second thing I wanted to mention is she did an internship. There's a theme here. Do an internship while you're in the program. It skills you. It helps you get momentum. It gives you a regional reference for your job search. Finally, and this is a subtlety, KQED, you probably wouldn't know it there, but KQED is a nonprofit. Nonprofits in the United States can sponsor without a cap. So that means all that information you hear about the lottery and H-1Bs, if you're a nonprofit, you don't do any of that. You just file your H-1B. So it's a totally separate opportunity, no caps. As many H-1Bs are needed are issued. So it's a really nice end around the whole H-1B machine. And I just, again, wanted to share that insight with you because when you get here, we'll tell you about it. We'll say, if you really want to stay, think about doing a nonprofit. And that's what she did. So I think that's a really interesting thing about her case. Here are more recent grads. So Adish is a dual degree student who graduated in March with his 2nd degree. He is not showing his last name because he's in a stealthy company over here. He doesn't want a lot of visibility on what he's doing right now. So he started a company with somebody else. He wanted to be a data analyst from the get-go. So he came to the program, he focused, as you can see, he was in the data science club, and if you saw the rest of this, you'd see a whole bunch of data science stuff. What he did right is he did, as you can see, he's done a number of internships. The first one was UpChoose during his MBA, and then when he came back for the dual degree, he did a second one. And in the second program, you can do up to a 6-month internship. So he had a lot of time to really build up his skills, and he's showcased them here. So Python, SQL, data science, clustering algorithms, I don't even know what that is. All of this stuff he's highlighting to people who might want to hire him. And he has chosen now to start his own company and get funded, and he's one to watch for sure. So that's an example of what a dual degree career path looks like here. We have another student who is in, there she is. She's in the 1-year MSBA. So that means she was with us for 12 months, super technical. She's highlighting her technical skills here. One of the things she did that's interesting is while she was in the program, she was a student worker, helped build out her skills. And then in the summer, she got a product analyst internship job. She will be converting that into a full-time role after she graduates next week. So again, a example of how students are building their careers. I wanted to finish up and give a little bit of time for questions in case you have some, and just kind of conclude on where we started and kind of the key take-homes that we've talked about. Skill up. So above all else, skill up, do your research, find out what skills you need, make sure you master these skills during the program. Don't be shy, highlight them everywhere you can, on your LinkedIn, on your resume, during your interviews, while networking, when you meet somebody on campus, potential employer, show off what you have to offer. Employers always talk about skills and the impact. So a lot of students come to the US and struggle with networking and say, well, you know, I have to be social all the time and I have to go to all these bars. But you don't actually have to do that. You need to go to places where there are people who want to talk about content, which is the skills that you have. You get hired for your skills, not because of, you know, you're in the right bar at the right time. So skill up, talk about your skills. Secondly, get experience, do that internship. I'm expecting this year that we'll have between 1,000 and 1,200 internships going through the program. We have built a machine. I like to brag about this. We've built a way to get students into these and through them very efficiently. They are running at all of our campuses. We really want you to take advantage of this opportunity if it's something that interests you. So definitely talk with your EA if that's something that you care about. So that they can advise you on which campus you need to be in at what time to be able to meet the visa requirements. And finally, start your search in October. As I've highlighted throughout this chat, people, our graduates are getting into the work of finding a job when they get to campus. That gives you more time to do all of the activities related to securing a job. And it gives you the opportunity to really be more picky about the job that you choose. So especially for our business analytics students here, I know because I talk to them every day, they're getting 3 to 5 offers. So they're being super picky. And I'm always keen to find out where they end up because they're all doing interesting things. All right, so with that, I want to thank you so much for coming today and inviting me to speak with you. I'd love to talk about jobs and our students' success. And if there are any questions, local team, if you want to do some questions, I have some time and I'm glad to answer any questions or clarify anything that might have come up today.
Okay, perfect. I'll just ask. Does anyone have any questions? Anything you want to ask? No, you guys are tired.
Tired, oh no.
They had a long day. Thank you so much, Catherine.
All right, great. Well, thank you again for letting me speak with you. I hope to see you in one of our campuses, but if you're in San Francisco, come find me. I always love to meet our candidates or our students, so please do come have a chat, and I wish you all the best and success in your applications. Thanks again.
Thank you.